Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dallas ISD Bond 2015 meeting on the Rosemont Upper Project. We're excited to have you join us here today. So, everyone that's participating in this meeting is being recorded and will be shared on the Dallas ISD District's YouTube channel and on the Bond website at www.dallasisd.org/Bond 2015, as well as on the social media channels for Dallas ISD in both Spanish and English. With that being said, we're going to turn it over to Principal Barker for any opening remarks. Principal Barker?
Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for taking the time out to participate in our bond meeting update today. We truly appreciate it and looking forward to the new updates that we'll share with you guys today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Principal Barker. We're excited to have everyone join us today so that we can make sure that everyone is participating. There'll be two ways during the question and answer period by which you can ask questions. One, you can take yourself off mute and answer your question during the question and answer period, or you can submit any questions or comments in the chat room. You will see the chat room at the lower side of your screen. We're here to answer your questions and also to address any concerns you may have about this wonderful project to help celebrate Rosemont's 100th anniversary. So with that being said, we're going to turn it over to our project team now for the presentation. Go ahead.
All right, I'll take it over from here. So my name is Seth Stevens. I'm with WRA Architects and the architect on the project. And this is a similar community PowerPoint that we've shown a couple times, just some minor tweaks. I've got a nice little video kind of at the end that's new. I guess it's more of an artist rendition than a verbatim replica of what the project's going to be, but it's a good visual. So this project focuses on the lower campus, which is kind of the one on the right, or excuse me, this project focuses on the upper campus, which is the one on the right. The lower campus is the one on the left. Kind of an aerial of the existing site. There's some portables on site. So in general, the project scope is going to renovate the existing 53,000 square foot building and add on about 44,000 square feet of additions. Primarily, the additions are going to be focused on fine arts. A lot of the fine arts facilities are currently in portables. So there'll be new art rooms, choir room, music, dance, auditorium, black box, and then the gymnasium is going to be a tornado shelter as well. So the new main entrance is going to be retrofitted from where the old gymnasium used to be, and we'll kind of reorient the building so that there's an entrance and a secured vestibule on the south. So this is kind of an aerial of what the site will look like once it's all built out. There's still a really nice large courtyard in the middle, play courts, kind of where the play equipment is currently. And then the fine arts wing, storm shelter, fine arts auditorium, band, music, choir, dance in this quadrant, the new entrance, and then an art classroom suite on the other side. So the site plan doesn't change a whole lot. In general, the new entrance is going to be off to the south, which is kind of a circular drive, some visitor parking, and then some expanded teacher parking beyond what's there currently. Inside the courtyard, we've got a nice amphitheater, kind of a learning garden, and just a general open area kids can play in. And then there'll also be some hardcourt play areas and then some new playgrounds kind of on the northwest side of the site. And this will all be fenced in, so this will all be a secured area, gated off. In general, when the project's done, there'll be 33 permanent classrooms. This is the first floor plan. The orange areas are the addition areas. The orange up here on the top is building in that area that right now you have to go outside. It's not really a very secure area since you have to leave the premise to go back into the campus currently. So this will add quite a bit of security to the campus and keep the access points limited where they can be monitored appropriately. On the south end, we've got the fine arts wing. So the number 16 is your art room. 1 and 2 is the new entrance and admin area, which is the old gymnasium. Moving on, there's number 17. You got the band or instrumental music classroom. Number 18 is a dance suite. 20 is a choir area. 22 is the auditorium. And on the back is the black box, which is on the back side of the stage. Across from the hall there is the new gymnasium and storm shelter. It's darker color. On the second floor, I believe the plan is to have most of the upper level grade levels up here, because this is a 4th through 8th campus. So probably mostly 6th, 7th, and 8th grade would be on the second floor. I'm going to kind of skip through these sort of quickly, because I've got a video that shows some of these a little bit better. So new courtyard rendering, kind of the cafeteria enclosure, reception area, auditorium, media center is being renovated. This is the gymnasium storm shelter. There are some collapsible bleachers on the side. And I'm going to play this video. It's going to run for a couple minutes, but it's not too long. So I'm going to let this go. Okay, so that's that video is a little bit older than the latest renderings. There's a couple of things that I should notice that are changed, but we'll get them fixed before we post them on the district website. So it is called Rosemont Upper, like this image shows, not preparatory. That was an older name. And then, yes, there will be a digital electronic marquee on there as well. Somebody mentioned that. And then we're still working through a couple of the city right-of-way items with the city. So anything that you see in the city right-of-way in terms of like sidewalks or that sort of stuff, those may or may not be accurate when it's all said and done on the video. So just a couple items to note there. So moving on to project schedule right now, the permitting and with the review with the city is underway. Bidding is finished, and Big Sky Wesson is the contractor that was awarded the project. They're on the call, so they can answer some general questions if there are some related to the construction side of things. Construction, we're still targeting hopefully early fall. Permitting, as long as the permitting with the city is done in a timely manner, we should be started in the fall. And project completion looks like we're tracking sometime in spring of 2023. All right, I think we can open up to questions.
Great. We do have a couple of questions in the chat room. And again, if you want to ask a question, if you go down to the button where it says reactions, you'll see a way to raise your hand. If you raise your hand, we can see your questions as well. So in the chat room, we do have, is the Black Box Theater just the stage portion of the auditorium, or is a second theater?
So the way it's set up is, I can go to the image. Give me a second, it'll make more sense.
Okay.
So on this one, the number 22 is the auditorium. The stage is this kind of rectangle here. And then the black box is behind the stage. So the stage opens up to the auditorium and it opens up to the black box. So the black box is a second area. It's not just the stage.
Great. And are elevators being installed?
The only two floor portion of the building is the older portion, and it currently has an elevator on there. So there's no elevators planned for the additions currently.
Okay, and this is a question, I guess, for Principal Barker. Will the lower campus also be called Rose? Is it the campus name is now Rosemont Upper and Rosemont Lower Campus is not Rosemont Preparatory? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. The other question is, it appears that the mosaic tile art at the existing entry created by students is being demolished. Is that correct?
The one that's the concrete wall, yeah, that needs to come down. It's built in as a concrete structural wall, which is a little strange, and there's no real easy way to save that or feasible way.
Okay. So we're in the meeting right now. So we've asked all the questions that are in the chat space. Does anyone else on the call, if you unmute and raise your hands, you can ask questions at this time. Or you can enter any question into the chat space. Well, I want to compliment the design team on actually not just having a walkthrough, but actually having people in the walkthrough walking through the walkthrough. That was very exciting to see images of children and parents actually using the school. Okay, someone asked, have there been any changes since the last SBDM meeting?
I'm not aware of any, unless
I do believe there may be one about the permitting. Maybe that, I don't think we're very clear about that, the SBDM. So if you could repeat the information about the permitting and the start date for the campus.
Yeah, I think right now we're still in the permitting phase with the city, so that takes a long time. Construction's we're trying to get it started in the fall, so it's possible that could start at the end of the summer, but if it's, a week before school starts, we'll probably just hold off until school gets going before we throw a wrench into that. So we're sensitive to everybody coming back into school and all the changes going on.
And again, so everyone will be aware, there will be safety precautions in place so that our students will not run into contact with the construction whatsoever. And also COVID precautions are still in place at all of our construction sites, and any timing of classroom and construction is always coordinated with the campus, so to avoid instructional interruptions. Okay. Does anyone have any additional questions? Okay. As you know, we're celebrating the centennial of our school during the 2022-2023. If the reno isn't done by spring 2023, what is the contingency plan? Do you mean the contingency plan for your celebration or the contingency plan for the completion of the school, Ms. Probus, if you could be a little bit clearer with your question? Okay. Her clarity is that she gets, are there any penalties if they aren't done on time listed in the contract with the ISD? I don't know if,
Yeah, Jackie, this
yes,
is Stephen Solka.
right.
I'm construction manager for Decatur Vanner program management firm. Yes, there are some liquidated damages that are in the contract. Right now, the current anticipated completion date for the project is December of 22. So we are targeting to have this completed by spring of 23. So should not be interfering with that celebration.
Great. We do have another question. Is the existing elevator being refurbished?
I believe it might get some new finishes, but I don't believe it's being fully replaced, if that's the question.
Okay. What is the timeline for replacing the HVAC? It still gives us trouble and needs to be done as early as possible in the process.
Yeah, so we've again, this is Stephen Solka. We've received the initial phasing plan from Big Sky, and Brian Vassar with Big Sky is on the call here. But we've received that initial phasing plan, and we're going to be going through that with the principal and working through those issues. There is as everyone knows, there is a lot of lead time on materials, so that will be factored into that replacement as well. So
great. Okay. Does anyone else have, I think that's the last, does anyone else have any additional questions?
Looks like Rick has his hand up.
Okay, Rick, yes, Rick, if you could go off mute. I'm going to take you off mute.
Oh, he may have had the elevator question. That may have
Okay.
already been.
Okay, we got it. As we see you. Okay. Okay, so in terms of the disruption to classes during construction, are students going to be shuffled a bit throughout the next 2 school years?
Yeah, there'll be some.
yes,
I think the plan is to keep some of the portables active, even though the third grade is moving down to the lower campus at the beginning of next year. Please correct me if that's not the case, but that'll free up a little bit of swing space. That'll hopefully make this a little bit easier and on the students and the staff. There'll still probably be some shuffling here and there, but that should help quite a bit.
I believe we're also going to be working closely with you, Principal Barker and I, as far as when the students do move around, it's not going to be during the instructional day, and it'll be definitely pre-planned. It's not going to be day of or within an hour. It's going to be very much pre-planned as far as in a timeline. So there won't be a disruption with student schedules or teachers or anything like that, correct?
that's correct.
Right. And we'll work very closely on making sure we're having messaging going out to the campus and to the parents themselves on any anticipated disruptions, any changes, any temporary changes as well, and also to the community. So if there's anything that's going on that may disrupt the community in any way, we'll make sure that we have those messages going out in advance. Of course, in emergency situations, we'll just make sure we have the messages going out. But where possible and when planned disruptions, we will make sure that the school is aware in advance so they can communicate that with their community. And there's a question about the estimated completion date on the auditorium. And then Rick, we're coming back to you with your question. Is there an estimated completion date on the auditorium?
I don't think we have that nailed down exactly yet. That's one of the more complicated parts of this whole building. So I would suspect that's probably one of the last pieces that gets finished as well. There's a lot of stage rigging and lighting and, a whole lot of stuff that goes into the auditorium.
And
integration
early, of the life and integration of the fire alarm, the life safety systems, all that has got to be completed before we can allow it to be occupied. So yes, that's correct.
Rick, go ahead with your question.
So a quick follow up on the elevator. So the elevator doesn't have any mechanical issues that need to be refurbished. It just needs finish upgrades.
As far as I know, if there is some sort of mechanical issue that's ongoing, the maintenance department can probably fix that faster than we can get to it.
And then the teachers that are in portables, what happens to them once construction starts and you need the area where the portables are before their part of the building is occupiable?
As long as the portables are needed to hold classes, those will remain in place until again the final space is ready inside the building. So it's part of the swing space, the shuffling. Yeah, it's a part of the shuffling and the swing space plan that again we just received the initial plan that we've still got to coordinate that with Principal Barker and the rest of the staff as well.
Okay.
And keep in mind as well, the construction will be ongoing, especially during the summer. So some of the more part of the scheduling, it takes into account when the students are in class, when there's winter breaks and those type of things, especially for larger projects such as this.
Thank you.
Yeah, as you can imagine, there's going to be a lot. I mean, this summer is short because of the extended school year, but we don't just do the permitting. We don't expect any work to occur this summer. So the summer 22 is going to be extremely active. Pray for no weather impacts next summer 22 because there's just going to be a lot to go on at that time.
Okay. Well, I think if I'm not seeing any additional questions come up, we do have our Deputy Chief of Construction on the line. Mr. Alfred, do you want to make any closing remarks?
No, just excited about this project as everyone else is. We've come a long way. I think we got a great design for a great community. So thank you guys for participating, and Jackie, you can take it away.
Okay, great. Principal Barker, do you want to have any closing remarks?
Just thank you very much for taking the time for participating, and we look forward to getting started so our community can have the school that is so much deserved. So thank you guys.
Fantastic. And I think we're going to close by saying this is going to be a wonderful 100th birthday present, a new school, an updated campus. It's going to be an absolutely amazing 100th birthday present for a well-deserved community of Rosemont. Seth is going to send me the PowerPoint presentation and that video. So it will be uploaded to the website, and you can always keep track of this and other Bond 2015 projects by going to our website at www.dallasisd.org/bond 2015. That's bond 2015. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. She says they were very excited and thankful for this project. Thank you. Oh, Ms. Provost, you have your hand up before we close, if you want to unmute.
Oh, just curious if you guys had any kind of estimated completion date on the electronic marquee.
The marquees normally are the last to go up. They have to also be permitted by the city, and we want to make sure that that's in time where it can be safe from construction with the landscaping and those type of things. Okay. Okay, no problem. Thank you. And I want to thank everyone for joining us. And most importantly, I want to thank everyone on behalf of Dallas ISD for choosing Dallas ISD and the Rosemont community to be your educational partner. We know this has been a rough year for everyone, but we made it only a few days before the end of school year. Hey! So we all made it. I want to thank you for your patience and for your flexibility during these difficult times. And we look forward to seeing each each and every one of you when school reopens in August for our in-person learning. So remember to keep up to date on everything for Dallas ISD at dallasisd.org, and on this particular project at dallasisd.org/bond 2015. Again, wait until by tomorrow, in close of business today, this video and the Spanish language version, as well as the presentation, will be uploaded to those sites, and the video will be shared on social media. So if you know someone in the Rosemont community that was unable to make it tonight, you can direct them to those locations to hear and see exactly what's going on for Rosemont Upper Campus. So on behalf of Dallas ISD Bond and Construction Services and the Rosemont community, thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.